Hi, Minesh Baxi here, and I have a very special friend of mine. I've known him for a decade, somebody who has fought for people and somebody who I totally respect for what he stands for. He's one of those rare people who wants to help people and has done a great job for the community here in the state of Michigan. So please welcome former Senator Patrick Colbeck.
Hey, great to be with you, Minesh, and thank you for all your support over the years. You've been a good voice of reason and practical insights in the community, and appreciate the opportunity to talk today.
Well, I know the main thing attracting to me about you was you were always looking for a solution which is laid out.
Yeah.
Not I make a promise that hopefully someday I will figure out and maybe people will just buy into my promise. You were always about, if I make a promise, I better have a detailed plan on how to actually make it happen.
Exactly. And I didn't take the solutions that they were spoon feeding us for granted. I said, what's in the best interest of my constituents first? And then we built a solution around the constituents instead of what happens usually up in Lansing is that the lobbyists that help to get certain people in leadership positions are the ones driving the agenda. And I said, I don't need that. Let's go off and apply this engineering know-how that I've developed over all these years to actually fix the problem and solve it from the best interests of the constituents. And
yeah, I think you did a great job as a senator for your community and for the state of Michigan. I know you were one of the only people who was really working hard for no increase in road funding through taxes, right?
Right. Yeah, you didn't have to. I mean, the fact is you go off and build higher quality roads. You actually spend less money on maintaining the roads over time than not more. So I was really frustrated that they didn't even want to look at longer lasting roads. There's so many new technologies out there, everything from geopolymer based concrete to which is essentially rubberized concrete that lasts a heck of a lot longer. You pay a little bit more up front, but they last 3 to 4 times as long. So anybody looking at life cycle costs is going to say that the overall cost for maintaining those roads is going to be less. You don't need a tax increase for it. You just go off and reprioritize in the near term. Once you get them all converted, you actually pay less on roads, not more.
And again, you were standing for a couple more things. One was no state income tax, right?
Oh, yeah. We had a plan on how to fully eliminate the state income tax. And actually, there's a lot of different tenets to that, but a lot of it is around getting better health care. So actually, if you get back into the free market thinking around health care, there's solutions working out there today that actually, like direct primary care, health sharing ministries, self-funded ERISA-based plans with TPAs, all that stuff works, and they can deliver quality health care at 50, 60% reductions from what we're currently paying today. And oh, by the way, you reduce the cost of healthcare, you reduce the cost of government because all those government employees need healthcare, and some people that are getting benefits from the government are getting healthcare as well. And then you also lower the cost of things like auto insurance because 58% of our no-fault insurance actually goes to healthcare, not toward. It all connects. So you find those little kerplunk sticks like healthcare, and it solves a lot of the other issues. And problem is not a lot of the folks up there in Lansing or frankly in D.C. are looking out for the best interests of constituents. They're always looking for their next reelection. And I'll tell you, it was the most frustrating 8 years of my life working up there in that environment. A lot of people looking out for themselves. I'll tell you, it's good to be back in the private sector and actually getting an opportunity to work at the Michigan Freedom Center, which I helped launch back in 2011. Our mission is serving other people, and it's in a way it's a continuance of my mission when I was in the Senate. But now we're focused specifically on serving those who serve us in the military. And I was proud to be a co-founder back in 2011, and since March of this year, I've taken over the duties as the CEO. So a much more hands-on role. Helped us through some sticky times here as an organization, and I'm happy to say we are back on solid track and serving our veterans better than ever before.
And today, obviously, being within the month of the veterans, and Veterans Day being the 11th of November, so I'm glad that we are talking about this. And when I saw there and I met your wife as well, I was like, wow, we should talk about this. We should let people know that there are good things going on and you can be part of in your community, whether you are in one side of the politics or the other. But I'm sure you all appreciate the veterans, the hard work they do.
Absolutely.
They put their lives on line. My father was in Indian Air Force in India. So I grew up around military families all my life. And I have total respect for the people who just care about the country. They are good, patriotic citizens, and they are doing their best to keep us safe. because it's the land of the free because of the home of the brave.
You got it. Absolutely. I couldn't put it better myself. And I should note that our Freedom Centers, they're open to military families, including allied military personnel as well. So
interesting.
This is unlike a USO, where we operate a lot like a USO. USOs are typically focused only on active duty military personnel. Okay. We actually open it up to veterans and their families. That includes Blue Star and Gold Star families. And if you don't know what a Blue Star family is, that's somebody who's that's the immediate family for somebody active on active duty right now. If it's a Gold Star family, it's somebody who's lost their loved one, given the ultimate sacrifice. And we open our doors to all them. We actually have a honor guard that we provide whenever a fallen hero comes home with their family out at the airport, and we go off and greet the family out there as well. And just give you a little background on the Freedom Center, if I could, because we actually have our headquarters, if you will. It's administrative office right here in Troy. We have 4 centers throughout the state. We actually started out of a repurposed conference room from Delta out at the Detroit Metro Airport McNamara Terminal. That's where we started, and that was on November 11th, 2011 at 11:11 a.m., easy to remember. And then since then, we've expanded into the Troy Military Entrance Processing Station. So that's where new recruits go to turn their head and cough and get tested for and placed into whatever position they're going to be in the military. It's kind of a trying time because sometimes it's the first time these new recruits have been away from their family, and they're going to be going all over the world, and some of them haven't even gone outside of the confines of their county.
Yes.
So it's actually a pretty traumatic experience, and we provide Freedom Center to help them through that. And we've also expanded to Lansing, and they have a MEPS there. It's called the MEPS Center, Military Entrance Processing Station. And back in 2015, we actually opened up at the North Terminal out at Detroit Metro. So we got both of the major terminals out there covered. And our goal is simple. Like, the mission statement is very clear. We serve those who serve us in the military, and we provide them with beverages, with drinks, and a smile, and frankly, just a place to relax and kick back, because especially when they're traveling, they may be going into harm's way. They need a chance to collect their thoughts, or maybe they just came back from harm's way and they're going back home, and they got to settle it down a little bit and recalibrate and get back to appreciation for living back in that home of the free, home and the land of the brave. So it is it's a subtle service, but it's one that's important. And since we opened our doors back in 2011, we have served over 660,000 guests.
Wow.
And we do this with a little over 200 volunteers, which is amazing because they fill 80 shifts per week. 80. I mean, so if anybody's dealt with any volunteer organizations before, the idea you can get volunteers to commit to filling 80 shifts a week so we can keep our doors open for our guests is phenomenal. I mean, it shows the dedication. A lot of our volunteers, frankly, are the parents of military members that are in there, or veterans themselves.
Sure.
And but this is a community effort. So I'm glad we're here out in Troy, because obviously this is one of our major centers. But this is something for the whole state, and we've actually, it's kind of amazing because we had travelers from all over the world, all over the country. We've actually got supporters or donors from 38 out of the 50 states.
Wow.
And it's nice. I mean, Delta has a hub here in Detroit Metro, so we get folks passing through from all over the place. And when things go bump in the night, like that 9 inches of snow the other day, we try to keep our doors open. We had a volunteer that stayed overnight just because of the snow to take care of veterans that were stranded at the airport. A lot of the other ones we try to get out to some of our partners and hotels in the area. And we've even got a couple of former corpsmen, veterans that out in Saline that offer to open up their home anytime somebody needs a place to stay.
Wow.
So it is really a good community. It's a good opportunity to give back to those who've sacrificed quite a bit. And it's not just the folks who served, it's their family members, and we're happy to open the door for them as well.
Fantastic. So tell me, how can people who are watching, listening, how can they help?
Well, let's start off with some simple things, because we are around the holiday shopping season,
Sure.
right? Without spending a dime on us, if you actually go to Amazon Smile or smile.amazon.com and look for charities and look for the Michigan Armed Forces Hospitality Center, and you shop from smile.amazon.com, Amazon.com will put a portion of that purchase, without you spending one more dime, towards the Freedom Center. So that's one thing you can go off and do. Same thing happens with Kroger's Community Rewards Program. If you sign up to go to Kroger.com and look for Michigan Armed Forces Hospitality Center, designate us as your charity. That's another way that you can go off and plug in, and without spending any more money, a portion of your grocery shopping needs for that nice little Thanksgiving meal you're putting together and the Christmas dinner and everything, that'll go towards the Freedom Center and help us be able to provide supplies for our guests. So those are easy ways, and if you can't find it up on the site there, just go to mifreedomcenter.org and we'll walk you through how to plug in on that.
That's easy.
That's easy. So that's not without spending one more dime. You're just going off and doing what you do every day. We've got a promotional coming up for folks that shop at Five Below. That information's up on our website as well. And the other thing you can do is just spread the word about us. So if anybody's got a social media account with Facebook or Instagram or whatever, please let everybody know about what we do. It's a hidden gem, and we've been out there for 8 years going off and providing these services. Let people know about it. We've still only got 1,500 emails in our contact list to tell people what's going on. That's after 8 years. So we're trying to up our game a little bit. We need your listeners here to help us out with it. Spread the word, because it's a good thing. People are always looking for ways to go off and help. This is a good way of helping. Wow. So another way to go off and help, obviously, is with donations. We are completely privately funded. We don't get any money from the government or anything like that. We are 100% dependent upon our donations, and we shepherd them well. We've actually got a Gold Seal Transparency from GuideStar, which is a charity watchdog group. We've gotten recognized by Yelp, the business rating service, as People Love Us Award, so everybody loves what we're doing. Please spread that word for us. But if you're able to go off and donate, we'd love for you to be able to just contribute either on a monthly basis or one time. Every little bit helps, and it goes to go off and support our troops.
They can volunteer their time.
What's that?
Volunteer their time.
Yeah, and that's the last thing I was going to go into. And I did it last because we got a lot of folks volunteering for our organizations. Good. But it's an interesting time of year right now because a lot of folks in Michigan are snowbirds.
Yes.
So a lot of our volunteers are snowbirds. So our volunteer pool gets cut significantly over the winter time, and they all come back in the spring. So if you are interested in volunteering, we do need people to fill some of those 80 shifts. And
what do they do in these shifts?
So in these shifts, you're smiling. You greet the guests as they come in, and when the guests come in, they register. They have to show some military ID or proof that they were in the military. And then you make sure everything's stocked, that everything's clean. It's essentially just doing some basic housekeeping and making sure that they feel welcome and appreciated for their service. Is
there an age, like what age people you are looking for?
No, you got to be old enough to get a security clearance if you're going to be serving out at the airport. Okay. So this is not at
the airport, but in Troy, because I'm right here in Troy.
In Troy, it's just 18 or older. We typically, especially if you're going to be on duty by yourself, we just want to make sure
it's safe and everything else.
Yeah, and it is a secure environment. Every one of these is a secure environment. So it's we're just looking for folks that are responsible and respectful of the fact that it is a secure environment. I mean, you have to get badged and go through a whole security check through TSA if you're going to be serving out at the airport, and that can be kind of daunting for folks. But we've got a great partnership with Wayne County Airport Authority, with TSA. They've been very supportive of us and our volunteers. But this is the time of year that we do have a drop-off in the volunteers because a lot of them take off to warmer climate. So, if you're interested, all this information, everything we talk about today is available up at mifreedomcenter.org.
mifreedomcenter.org.
Yep.
Fantastic. What a pleasure. Thanks for taking the time to come here and educate us about it. Because obviously when I saw, it's like, wow, we should promote this to more people.
No, I appreciate it.
You are the CEO, why not? And Senator Colbeck has been a friend, somebody who does good things for people. So that is always easy for me to say, if he's doing it, I'm sure it's going to be helpful to people.
Thanks, Minesh.
Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Thanks again for watching.
Hey, great to be